Hey kids, welcome back to the Apartment A3 podcast. I'm a stable genius. My name is Jesus. I mean, it's a soft J anyway, right? Jesus. Am I doing the wrong? Is that? All right, so welcome back. Back in the studio again today. My boy of fucking forever. How long I known? Tommy Falcone. He's back in the bedroom, in the baby crib. I mean, we're next to a crib. It's crib adjacent. I don't know that I have a crib as much as just an apartment. It's not like a New York apartment where it'd be considered a quote-unquote crib. It's literally just the place I live. But we're back. And it gets addressed at the toward the end of the episode. But Tom and I have decided on a partnership where he's going to be my co-host. So for as often as we can, boy is just going to be rocking out with me. So I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes. I certainly am having just a fucking shit ton of fun doing this. I really am. It's besides my kids, it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life. So I hope you guys are at least getting some enjoyment out of this. In listening to it whenever you're doing whatever you're doing, like running or laundry or errands or what have you. I will apologize, as I'm one to do, with all the references to Joe Rogan and his podcast. There is a bunch of them in this one, but he's my boy. He doesn't know he's my boy, and I don't mean like he's my boy, like he's my boy, like BOI. Anyway, Tom's back in the studio with me today. We talked about a bunch of shit. And it was just real fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm rambling. I'm going to let you guys get to it. Here's me and Tom. From comedy special from years ago that Dennis Leary did, where he talks about NyQuil. Capital N, small Y, big fucking Q.
I've never seen it. I got to check it out.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that was like It was like a live film thing, but then there was also the CD that went out with it, like the album, the comedy album.
Yeah.
Why does it sound quiet? Does it sound quiet?
I thought it sounded kind of loud.
Well, yeah, but you got the other shit. Check.
What do you mean I have the other shit?
So that's amplifying the headphones into there. That's also amplifying your headphone.
Oh.
Whereas I just have it coming right off of there. So you got a little extra juice.
Why don't you take the extra juice?
That's good. You're the old man that's deaf, Nicky Shirley.
Oh, I'm going pretty deaf.
I can imagine.
People will be talking to me, and I have no idea they're talking to me.
How many shows do you think you played?
I have no idea.
1,000?
Maybe.
In all the time?
Maybe from the very start, you think?
Possibly. I don't know.
Or from the solidification?
I would just say from when you guys started touring.
Well, our first tour was only like 2 weeks long. So, not that many shows.
Maybe 500? Maybe 5,000's a lot. That's a lot. Because it's not like you've been touring the whole time. You haven't been in the band in a while.
A lot of shows, maybe. Not nowhere near as many as the actual Buffalo shows. You know what I mean? Like those E-Tid dudes and Rick James, for that matter.
Yeah.
Or the Goo Goo Dolls.
Well, those guys. I mean, they've been a band for 40 years.
Yeah.
They're not always touring, but they're playing out a lot. Yeah.
They played Alaska. Right? Goo Goo Dolls?
They played Alaska?
Yeah.
I think so.
They went to Alaska. What was the other band they went to? Metallica, you were saying.
Well, yeah, they played Antarctica.
Yeah.
And you were arguing with me that no one's allowed to go there.
They're not allowed to go there. They got paid to go there. They're on a specific plot of land. That's it.
Yes. The specific iceberg.
I'm telling you.
Off the side of
I'm telling
Antarctica.
you. We're not allowed
It wasn't
there.
Antarctica proper because it's actually a giant hole in the ground.
That is the entrance to our Earth. Fuck off.
Holy shit.
We're not allowed there.
You know what? That's okay. It's so cold. Fuck it. I'm good. It's cold enough.
I don't know why we're not allowed there. It's the only land that's a kind of peace treaty. It's not unclaimed. All the other nations, we're all fighting for one little ass fucking plot of land in the Middle East, and yet there's this whole uncovered ass fucking.
Yeah, you know what? That thing's covered in ice. What are you gonna fucking do with it?
I don't know. There was a general who went over there. He was during World War II, and he was tasked with checking out this island and what was happening. And every time he sent fighters and more soldiers over there. Nobody ever returned, and then they kept. Finally, when people returned, they lost the war. Like Nazi ships were getting shot down, American ships were getting shot down, but they weren't shooting at each other. They were getting shot down by something else in Antarctica, and that's why. And nobody claimed the land. They just pulled out after that.
Do you think they were getting shot down, or was it because it was 1942 and they didn't have the technology to experience
Aliens,
those?
dude.
Oh my God!
Look, we're not alone.
Look, no. Absolutely, I 100% believe that we are not alone. For me, it's insane to believe that we are the only thing. It's possible, but highly unlikely, right? The possibility of another life form visiting us that's actually a carbon-based life form is very insignificant. It's very, very minimal because of the time it takes to travel those distances.
Yes.
And the people a billion times smarter than me, including Neil deGrasse Tyson, have said, if aliens have visited our planet, they're like sentient AI. They're artificial intelligence made out of silicone and metal and shit that don't die because they can make that trek that a physical carbon-based organism cannot make.
What if they've already been here?
Right. The little green men is not. I don't believe that.
Well, what if? Who knows, man?
Again. So in high school, I took one of my senior electives was a science fiction class I took, and our teacher was explaining to us, like trying to impress upon us the infiniteness of space, right? Mm-hmm. Just how fucking massive it is, how far light year is in terms of like the number of pages of paper that would come off of a printer, the old school ones that had like the sprockets on the side. You know what I'm talking about? Like it would take, that printer would have to print blank pages for the next 700 million years and it would never run out in order for you to have enough pages of paper to equal the number of stars or distance to whatever. I'm like, okay, all right, Mr. Colo, I get it. It's still hard to impress upon that because you then have to imagine this infinite amount of paper, which is a weird comparison, but I got what he was saying. And he was completely adamant, if I recall correctly, and it's over 20 years ago, he was completely adamant that he doesn't believe we've ever been visited by aliens and that it would not be possible to do so because of how far away everything is. The amount of time it would take to the next star system is what, 10 million light years, or my numbers are off, I'm sure. Whatever it is, right? Whatever distance it is, it for something even approaching the speed of light, it would still take that many years for it to reach us. So an actual carbon-based fleshy of some kind life form to make it from here to there or from us to them, it's seemingly impossible. But I always kind of went, no, I can't. He wasn't discounting that other life existed. Just that we hadn't been visited. But my thought is more, if we have, and I think it's possible. I mean, it's great to fantasize like Bigfoot. It's Rogan has a whole thing about that. It's great. I think it's possible, but I think it makes way more sense the argument that if we were, that it would be, a robot of some kind, an android of some kind, something that Boston Dynamics is working on right now.
A robot. I don't know, dude. There's technology and shit left and right that just kind of came out of nowhere. Like after that, like crash landing, like all of that, all those planes and stuff just came out of nowhere. Like after Roswell.
What year was Roswell?
I don't even know.
Look that up. What year was that? Because they
had started pumping mad. It was obviously because of the war. Like you could just, it's like
right, and I think that's part of it. I think that might be. I think I'm going to conspiracy theory for a moment. I think that Roswell might have been a thing that they created to cover up the fact that the German scientists were in Argentina and in South America, continuing to work on stuff, and it was actually a German spy ship, or possibly even Russian, because the Russian scientists have made some crazy shit too.
In mid-1947.
Okay, so just after the war, were all those top-ranking? Do you know about the? I can't remember.
You know what? You're opening a door here.
Well, here, listen, so I can't remember who it is. It's a guest that Rogan's had on before. He's this guy. He's, I don't want to say a TV journalist, but he did a documentary where he actually went into South America, and I can't remember if it was Colombia, Argentina, wherever it was that the top-ranking Nazis that escaped Nazi Germany, right? As Germany was falling. No, those were the scientists. I'm talking about the SS officers and stuff, the high-ranking German officials that were the people who were ordering all the hits and killing the people, and like the Mengele and all them. that it's always been the rumor that them and Hitler got to South America. Well, they haven't been. It actually, maybe it's called Finding Hitler or Looking for Hitler. It's on Netflix, I believe. There is a town, I think he said it's maybe around 80,000 people, maybe, that are all direct descendants of those top-ranking Nazi officials that did escape and get to South America. And when he was there, he's this white guy and he speaks fluent Spanish, but he also speaks German. And he was walking by some people who were very white, didn't look South American at all, in this town, like multiple people. And he would say, the fuck's what's hello in Spanish? Why am I blanking on that?
I don't know.
Buenos dias? Yeah. You would say like, right? Buenos dias?
Buenos dias.
What? Wow. Well, I took French in high school.
What is it?
Whatever.
¿Cómo está? What is that one?
Isn't that what it is? What is that one? ¿Cómo está?
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because that's how are you?
I think it's how are you, yeah. I have no idea. Right. I don't know.
Again, took French and I failed that miserably. No, anyway.
We're talking about Spanish.
Yeah. So anyway, wow, I feel like such an asshole. You guys make fun of me, please. Light up the comments about how much of an idiot I am and I don't know what hello is in Spanish. I'm drawing a blank. I know what it is. But anyway, he would say that, and rather than responding kindly, he'd be like, Guten Morgen, which is German for good morning. Mm-hmm. And everyone was doing it. They don't speak Spanish. They basically brought all their killed the Jews and took their gold money from Germany. Yeah. And they bought this town. And the government of, I think it's hard, I could be wrong in the fucking country, sorry, basically bought this area and said, this is ours. We're going to pay you this. Leave us the fuck alone. And they're very much still of that Aryan feel and belief that, again, this is what, if I'm recalling correctly what he said, and there is a Netflix documentary, which I haven't watched yet. I probably should watch that. Where he says, they're there, like they have like the medals and stuff that their grandfather got, like they're kept in like cases and they use white gloves to show it. And of course he wasn't allowed to handle it, but they showed him, these high ranking medals for being these monsters.
That is so insane.
Right. And so I think that it's very possible if some of the scientists did, because some did go to Russia too, I think. I know a lot of them came here. If they did end up going down there, that it's very possible that they were working on some kind of weaponized, whatever it looks like, spaceship that crashed in 47 in Roswell because they were trying to get up here. And then I've heard that as a theory. It's not my theory. I've heard that as a theory. But I've also heard, I believe in, again, probably Rogan, that it was possibly that it was a Russian machine.
Because I've seen those flying saucers that look like the flying saucers that crashed and stuff like that, though, which is insane.
Yeah.
So but that's what I mean. I've seen the German-looking flying saucers and the Russian flying saucers. Those are all over the internet, but they don't look like the ones that supposedly landed here.
Yeah.
And then dude, it's everywhere. There are UFOs in the sky right now on YouTube and stuff like that, and you just kind of like, nobody covered there's like shit falling from the sky.
The thing that bothers me about all that is, I have this friend that, this is just a couple weeks ago now. She goes, look, it's all over the, social media. There is this alien spacecraft outside of California. I'm like, it's probably another SpaceX launch. Because remember when that happened? Mm-hmm. Everyone flipped out. I had friends that were in California at the time who were posting like live to Facebook and Instagram this giant, light beam coming across the sky. And the next day, SpaceX is like, oh, our bad. We should have told you guys. And it's exactly the same thing. And this girl is just like, no, weird. It's aliens. I'm like, you remember what happened before? She's like, yeah. I said, it looked the same. She goes, no, it looked different. I looked at the footage. It's exactly the same.
I know exactly what. No,
when the boosters separate, it creates the whatever, and it's always at night.
And it's got the swirl thing, and it swirls off. No, that's space. The SpaceX
right.
launch.
And so it's like,
but there is other things.
Right, and I'm not denying the possibility of. But again, when it's been explained and the company goes, no, that was us. It's not like when Al-Qaeda takes responsibility for things they didn't do just to seem like they're more of a monster than they are.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know.
Don't get me started on that one either.
Just be reasonable. It's like, yeah, no, it's fucking, we're trying to get into space. Elon Musk wants to start doing commercial flights into space. People are willing to pay for that shit. Dude, do you remember when Lance Bass was going to pay to be on the space shuttle?
Yes, I do remember that. I think that was Justin Timberlake, not Lance Bass.
No, it was Lance Bass.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Which one was Lance Bass?
He's the one who came out as gay.
Okay.
He's the other blonde one.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Are you sure it was Lance Bass, dude? I thought it was Justin Timberlake.
Fucking Google it.
Hang on,
I'm telling you right now, it's Lance Bass. he wanted to go, but I guess he couldn't. It was like a couple $1 million.
Why couldn't he go?
Probably because he couldn't afford it. They wanted more. He didn't make that much.
I saw a commercial the other day. They were talking about how space travel was like in the near future. You could go on a vacation in space.
Well, there's Blue. Was it Blue Origin or what's the one that Bezos owns?
What's that?
What's the space company that Bezos owns? Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon. Blue Origin or Blue?
He can go to space. How about that?
No, but it's called Blue.
He has enough money to go to space.
This is why I need a producer to.
He has a spaceship.
He can sit off on the side and be my Jamie Vernon and just fucking Google stuff for us.
Can you imagine having that much money? Just like, I have a fucking spaceship.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're doing. That's what,
I want a spaceship.
But between him and Elon Musk, as privateers, as private individuals with their own money, financing this, they don't, even with all the money they have. Well, what was the argument? Like the entire NASA budget was a fraction of what we spend on military every year. Like we spend how many billions on military every year, and the NASA budget was like so many $100 million. It wasn't even fucking close to being what we spend. It's like a decimal point out of the GDP. But let's cut where we can.
A lot of money. However, side note, James Lance Bass, born May 4th, 1979, is an American singer, dancer, actor, film and television producer, and author. Bass was certified by both NASA and Russian space program after several months of cosmonaut training. I can't fucking read. And Lance Bass.
Right, yeah. James
Lance Bass. That's his astronaut name.
Right, well, because it's probably his actual...
I always thought his name was just Lance Bass. I didn't realize that.
I feel like maybe that's one of those kind of Hollywood things where it's like, like Ashton Kutcher's real first name isn't Ashton, that's his middle name.
James Lance Bass. I can't. How do you say that 3 times fast?
And why would you?
James Lance Bass.
Is it something that they just did? No, I'm not gonna. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. But I'm not. But yeah. So when he was gonna pay. So the whole idea was that what was it? Is it the X2 rocket or am I? No. You know what? The X2 rocket is actually a fake rocket that is in the Mission Space ride in Disney World. So never mind, not the X2 rocket. But there was somebody that was kind of trying to create.
No, that's what.
No, there was some kind of rocket that they were building that was supposed to be just one that would go like out of the stratosphere into space for a little bit.
The X2 rocket.
Was that what?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I thought that's what it was also called.
To investigate flight characteristics.
But it was supposed to be like you could buy a commercial level ticket, and probably like a couple grand per person, but you could fly into space a little bit, but then come back in.
It was like, sorry to interrupt. It was like a 20-minute plane ride from like the East Coast to the West Coast and shit like that. If going way high up in the air.
Yeah, because of the speed and the parabola.
But it crashed and burned miserably. I remember this.
Did it? No.
Yes.
Oh. See, I thought that they were just working on the concept but didn't have enough capital to get it off the ground, where it was just going to literally be commercial level, where you're in space for a few minutes. That's fucking crazy. And then you come back in, but maybe not.
That would be crazy. I don't know if I would do it. I don't know if I would take that plane ride.
I don't know, man.
Would you get it? Would you go that high up in the air?
Who was it? Who was the Red Bull guy?
I was just
on the hot air balloon, right? The weather balloon. Was it? That wasn't Travis Pastrana, was it?
No.
That dude has done fucking everything. But the guy who he was in like a pressurized suit because there's no air, and he passed out at some point during the fall
because he was spinning so fast.
Yeah.
He lost.
Yeah, he passed out he fucking passed out unconscious, and then came back online, and able to pull a shooting time. But that's crazy. You're on the edge of what is the world still, and the infinity of
he could have gotten, if he would have hit I feel like he was high enough. If he would have hit just a few more feet, he would have been lost in space.
It's possible.
That would have sucked. That's a cool ass movie. Somebody should make that a movie. That dude's jump gone wrong, except he goes too high and gets lost in space, as opposed to being able. He tries to jump and he's just trying. It's like right there. He's trying to swim to the fucking door. But he can't do it.
What is it's not Interstellar. What was the one with George Clooney and Sandra Bullock? The space one from just a few years ago. It wasn't Interstellar because that was Matthew McConaughey,
which also hit the fucking tears.
But whatever that one was, I know that Neil
Gravity.
Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of pulled it apart a little bit.
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff in that being like, well, no,
Because he said the thing he said at the end where he just let the cable go and they just floated into space. Well, no, they weren't moving at all, so they would have just stayed there. And he goes, all they would have had to do is just a little tug, a little tug,
yeah,
a little tug. That's it. That's all that would have had to happen. And the other thing was how her hair was always flawless. That was the other.
They needed a movie though,
right? I didn't watch it, but I hear it was good. But I mean, even I'm just fucking.
Not even like
that's why like a rock hitting your suit is enough to push you away. If you're not tethered to the space station or the shuttle, you're fucked because all it took was that little bit of impact to move you.
Yeah.
So opposite
I never
direction.
Go in space.
All you gotta do is a little bit, and you come right back in.
No thanks. No thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think fish could live in space?
Fish can't live on land without water. So, how's that work?
I don't know, because they don't breathe air. We can. We would never.
They don't. They take oxygen from the water. So they do breathe oxygen. They just get it a different way.
I'll check it. I'll try it out. I bet that's some Russian shit right there.
I'm as high as a whale.
How you know what while I was out there, I was thinking, I was like, dude, I really do love fucking smoking pot. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Don't apologize to me.
No, I don't know.
Yep, Canada official.
Did it happen?
Oh, the whole fucking country.
The beauty
across the board.
Beautiful, good for them. The beauty of like not really giving a shit about anything else is that the days fly by really fast.
Somebody posted to the Sober October thing that Bert and Tom and Joe Rogan are doing, that he would have liked to join, but officially today pot's legal in Canada where he lives, so he's like, sorry guys.
Yeah, right.
He's like, sorry, maybe next year.
They're gonna rake in the dough.
That's the thing. Like it's. Yeah.
I hope they do. I hope Cuomo does it. Although I did see some stupid ass shit, and people were like,
November 2nd, go vote.
They were like,
wait, that's not November 2nd. It's the Tuesday. I don't know the date. I thought it was November 2nd. I'm sounding like a fucking dick. November 6th. The 2nd's a Friday. November 6th. That's your midterm elections, kids. You have your homework. Go fucking vote. If you're not happy with what's going on, do something to change it. They're projecting that this is going to be one of, if not the highest, I don't know if attendance is the right word, attended midterm election days.
Maybe.
Well, no, it's just more people are going to go out to vote in this midterm election than have ever voted in a midterm election.
Does a midterm election even count?
Sure it does. Because this is where you change all your senators and Congress people. These are the people who are in the other branches of government who can either help support the asshole or not. And what we're trying to do, if you're on, I hate that it's our side, but if you're on our side, if you're on our team, which again is creating a dichotomy that doesn't need to exist. We should all be on Team Human, but if you're not happy with what who is in power is doing, the midterm is the strongest time to overturn that, because if you can switch the seats for the Congress and Senate to that opposite party that will vote against that dude when he decides to put shit through.
You say the asshole, like you don't think like they are all assholes. Sorry.
I would say the majority. I'd say the 99%.
They're all assholes.
You know, there are some people who have a better interest in mind for, I think, the country and for us than most others. But I mean, when it comes to politics, that's the problem. Beto O'Rourke, that dude in Texas who's running against Ted Cruz, I fucking hope that dude wins. That guy's a real guy. He's like a real person. And it's
Ted
funny.
Cruz.
Here's what's so funny about that, about what Trump does, is that Lion Ted, he hates Ted Cruz. Ted's on the same, he's Republican. He's on the same team, right? But he ran against him right? Lion Ted, all the time. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And now that he's running, you know, for that contested seat in Texas against this dude, Trump, and I saw the tweet the other day, Trump's just like, yep, Ted Cruz is a good guy. He's a good man. He's the best for Texas. It's like, you're so full of shit. You fucking hate this guy. You made up a nickname for him. You took time out of your day to do that. And now you're backing him because you have to. I just think that...
That's what I mean. They're all assholes, man.
That in and of itself is funny.
I don't even want to fucking name the parties. They're all assholes. All of them. I can't even bother. I don't even want to talk about it.
There's so much money tied up in it, dude. There's so much money.
They're all decrepit and old. Ugh.
There's so much money tied up in all of it, and that's the majority of the problem. It's the money and power. It's the influence that you have. Even if as a senator you don't make a lot of money, and they really don't. I don't think they make a shitload. Just as their salary goes, they don't make a shitload of money. But the power that they have, the influence, the things that they, I got a table right here for you, sir. He's like, oh, yeah, I got you this nice gift that doesn't count as a thing against you because it's this and it's under this dollar amount, and we're going to hush the whatever.
Decrepit.
Yeah.
They're decrepit.
But let's just shoot them all into space. Let's put them on a rocket. I'm just kidding if anyone's listening. It's just a joke.
Should put them into space.
I think I said this last time too, because I think Rogan said it, and he's just like, he thinks that Trump's going to wait until maybe about 6 months out from the election.
He's going to make pot legal.
He's going to make pot legal, and then everyone's going to be like, all right, I guess he's not that bad. Or they'll be so high they forget to vote.
Dude, it's so unfair. There's so many. You can't do anything in New York State. I think we've talked about this before. You really can't do anything here. You can't.
What do you mean?
You can't protect yourself legally. You can't friggin' smoke pot legally.
What do you mean you can't protect yourself legally?
You have to go through everything to get your pistol permit, and it's just like.
But you have it.
Yes, very true. But it's still like. Everybody else has. It's just like the small weird things.
Well, let me ask, because of my interest and because we're on the topic, what does it take to get a pistol permit? Is it like a certain number of hours of training that you have to go through?
It's
safety
a
classes?
5-hour test. It's kind of pretty much the same thing as a 5-hour course. Like you'll
like
sit
a driving course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll just sit there and you'll take the test. You run through the safety of everything, and you run. It's not. Some places take a test. I'm just going off of what New York State does.
Yeah.
But you sit there. You get certified, you have to go through everything, and then you take a test, and then if you pass the test, you have to find 3 to 4 signatures, and they have to be from your county, right? And then...
what do you mean?
You have to, of other people, for me and you, say you would get your pistol permit, I would be able to be a reference for you.
So you have to have people vouch for you,
Yes.
basically saying this person is not insane. Him owning a gun is okay.
Yes.
Okay. Huh.
And
that's interesting.
Yes, and then after the 4 or 3, it's 4, and after those interviews, they call you, and then there's a phone interview, and then you have to wait.
Really?
9 months. I waited about a year for mine.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. You gotta get fingerprinted. You have to spend $130 to get fingerprinted.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when all is all said and done, you have to write everything down that you've been in trouble for, on the thing, and you have to pretty much submit a background check, and they do all that stuff.
That's at
anyways.
the end. They wouldn't kind of put that up front.
No, that's on the paperwork.
Oh, it's on the paper.
They give you a bunch of lines that you have to be super honest and what you've done, and it's just really funny. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I've had a couple speeding tickets, and they're like, no, nothing like that. Have you been arrested? I was like, yes. And they're like, for what? And I was like, well, littering. And
where, in Toronto?
No,
because that doesn't count. Different country.
I was in Kansas, but he's like, no. He's like, never. You're fine. And then it was just funny though. But I have been arrested. But it was just I was driving Fred's car at the time, which had suspended plates. Inspection overdue.
Remember you telling me about that? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got pulled over, and the dude's like, "You need to go to the police office right now." And I was like, "Well, I've got to go to work." And we were playing a show at Extreme Wheels, and then he's like, "I'll meet you there at the police station." Mm-hmm. And then I went right to our show, and then a day later we left for 3 months or whatever it was. So when I got home, these 2 officers were at my friggin' house. And then
how do they know you got home?
Because he had my ID and all that stuff like that. So I missed the court date because I was pulled over and he took all that information. But I still went to the show. I never went.
Yeah.
And then when I got home, they were waiting for me. And yeah, but it all got swept under the table. And then I got my pistol permit. But it's just crazy though.
See, I don't mind that.
I don't mind that either.
I think that is a good. I mean, again, I don't know enough about it. I'm just going based upon what you're telling me you remember. But when people say we need stricter, if you have to go through all that to get a permit to be able to purchase it, now does that include rifles and shotguns, or no? Because those are for hunting.
That's just for
only for handguns,
pistols. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit different. Could you buy an AR-15 without having one of those? Probably, right?
Yes, in other states.
But I mean, legally in New York State. Or do they not even? They don't even sell AR-15s in New York
They
State,
do, but they have. This is where it gets super weird. Okay, you can't have more than 10 rounds in the magazine.
Right.
You can't have a collapsing stock, and you have to have this weird thing. There's no pistol grip on an AR-15, and it's just so weird because like.
So it's got to be more like a rifle.
Yeah,
grip?
it has to be more like a rifle, but it's just like, it's all kind of the same. And it's just like, regardless if it's a rifle or a pistol, I have a pistol permit. And the only reason an AR-15 is technically illegal because of the pistol grip. And and I think, what I personally think is what we kind of agree is, it's just my opinion, is I think AR-15s should be 21 and only acquired through a fucking pistol permit. And that is just me. And because I like the New York State laws, but this is what upsets me is there's no legal pot. You have to... It's just like there's one or two. You either get your pistol permit for hunting and target, or you get a full carry. And it's just, we've talked about this. I can't, there's only so much muscle I can pull out, push out.
Yeah.
And people walk away from magazine dumps of 15, and we're not allowed in New York State to have more than 10 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, women still are getting taken advantage of after defending themselves. It's just insane. Yeah. Like, you'd be surprised those extra 4 rounds actually do make a difference, and that's just my opinion. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
But yeah, you have to go through...
I don't know enough about it to speak on it, but I mean, that's why...
You have to go through a lot. Like, the waiting process was forever.
Yeah.
And
that's part of the thing, too. I think somebody... I can't remember who made the joke. It was some comedian, obviously, where they're talking about to have to wait the 5 days for a background check to come through. I think was the joke. I think when the Brady bill came out some time ago, it's like, well, when you go to buy the gun, right, because you're mad about something, you're really angry, somebody pissed you off or whatever, it's like that 5 days might give you enough time to calm down and go, I guess I really don't need to shoot this person.
See, that's so funny.
So to take a year, it's like you really have to they want you to have to want it in order for it. And I think to wait the time in order to get the permit so that, I would think that would further help to prove, like, I'm not a crazy person. I'm not buying this to do anything. Unless you're really looking long term and you're planning some crazy shit, still highly unlikely. Because then you have all that time you have to wait. And then when you get it, that's when you can start accruing. I think you can buy ammunition without a permit, right? You can buy. No,
you can't. It's weird. They have this thing. It's like the don't ask, don't tell. I guess it's not really like that, but like when you buy like a 45 ammo, right? They'll be like, "Is it for a rifle or a pistol?" And if you're like, "It's for a pistol," they'll be like, "Can I see your ID?"
Now that's if you buy it like in a store in the state. What about these online sellers? They're online sellers. I think and I don't even think they're necessarily dark web. I just think that
you could buy ammo
like
online.
Loophole where it's like they'll ship you whatever because it's out of state, so they don't give a fuck. They'll get your money and collect the taxes, and they'll pay the government whatever.
Yeah, that was actually removed off the Safe Act. That was on the Safe. That was illegal in New York State, and then they removed that. So you could buy ammunition online, but it's kind of funny. You can't buy 5.56 though. And this is what bums me out.
What's
5.56 is the AR-15.
Okay.
It's just
a specific bullet for that weapon.
Yeah. That's it. What's funny is the 9mm is bigger than the 5.56, and people are fucking flip out about an AR-15. It's hilarious.
No, I mean, the thing is when the bullet either way, even if 9mm is bigger, if you're accurate with what you're doing and you're more accurate with a rifle style weapon than a handgun, I feel like that's a more efficient killing tool.
It's all the same though, like whether it's hands or a firearm. I just don't see the. That's why I carry one, because it's I don't know. It's all the fucking same.
So Tommy's strapped all the time.
Not all the time. I'm not allowed to carry it all the time, that's what I mean. Like
Is that not the kind of permit you got?
I don't have that permit. I can only go to and from the range. But it's just like...
Oh, so you don't have open carry?
No. We don't... New York State doesn't have open carry at all.
I thought they didn't have concealed carry.
No, they only have concealed carry.
So... Which
is funny, is other states are desperately fighting for concealed carry. All the other states only have open carry.
Why? Now, I guess...
That's
and just, again, because I don't understand this, it would make more sense to me from a safety standpoint to only allow open carry, because that way you know the person has a weapon.
This is why everything is so weird.
And concealed carry, it's like, then you don't know the person has a weapon. You know what I mean? Like from a let's say from a policing standpoint, you have some kid walk down the street holding, you know, I know I've seen the videos, and it wasn't in New York, obviously, in New York State, but some white kid walking down the street with like two AR-15s just to prove that he could, and then the cop.
See, that is so over the top, dude.
And he's like, I'm all whatever, and I saw it on Facebook, this video, and this cop stops to talk to him because you might be able to, but how do I know you have a permit for it if that's required by your state or whatever, right? And so the kid's just like, this is a stock, blah, blah, whatever. He goes, all right, well, let me tell you something. And the cop was very calm about it. He's very matter of fact. He's like, looking at that weapon, looking at the way the trigger setup is, it looks like it might be modded. That's how it looks to me. Within the law, I have the right to check your weapon. And so the kid hands it over, he checks it, he goes, all right, you're fine. This was the right thing to do. Fighting me on it wouldn't have gotten you anywhere. And if you're really serious about your freedom, blah, 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 he says, come on down to the police, whatever. We can go to the gun range. He invited him to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in that moment, that was a cop who clearly has his head on straight. And I'd like to see those. It's like, you don't have to. And yes, in this country, same situation, same area, same gun, even. Make that person black, that kid's getting stopped 100%.
Totally, 100%.
And it's and stopped with prejudice, with maybe with gun drawn, even possibly. And it's like that's upsetting, because if you're gonna, I know.
I think doing that, is over the top to begin with.
Agreed.
I personally think it should be open, or I like to carry concealed. What
was it? Was it in Oklahoma or, and again, Rogan? There was some city, I want to say Oklahoma, where they had a really high crime rate, and I want to say maybe mayor came in and said, you know what, by law, and they somehow made it a law, everyone who lives in the city has to own a firearm. Everyone has to. You all have to own a firearm.
Dude,
and crime went away because everyone had a gun. So why are you going to fuck with somebody if they have the same, you know what I mean? The chance of you dying is 100% more than it was if they didn't have a weapon. And now everyone has one. And he said, and again, I never verified, but he's mentioned it a few times. Crime went almost completely away.
It's gone.
Because everyone had to have a gun. But then you have everybody walking around with a fucking gun.
But what happened, though? Nothing happened.
Right, nothing happened. But the point is that is now an additional cost. It's an additional hazard. It can happen. Look, are you going to get shot with a gun accidentally if you don't have one? If you don't have one,
that's why you need to train with. It's not for that. That's why it upsets me when you like. Sure, you should be able to exercise your right to fucking walk around in public with your giant ass AR-15, but it's so pointless. It is so pointless.
The thing I'm thinking about now is that you have the right to bear arms, but for somebody to make you required to bear arms, isn't that against the Constitution? In the same way that the mandate with Obamacare, the government is requiring you to purchase something.
It is definitely you just have to train with it. When you sign up for that, you're not signing up pretty much for the firearm. You're literally signing up for responsibility of protecting the firearm and specifically your family. So it's like you have to keep it in check. It's like always on the back of my mind, making sure everything is safe. And it's like making sure it's in my safe, and then I have my magazines in another room along with the ammo in a different fucking room, because that's the law.
I love Bill Burr's bit about that.
It is just so dumb. And like, do you know what I mean? Like,
have you heard?
Yeah.
He's just like, please don't tell me you're one of those guys who keeps the fucking bullets in like a safe in another room. It's just like, he does the whole thing.
But I'm just saying, like,
he's like, you got your gun under your pillow, right? It's right beside you there. And he goes, you got your dog sleeping, right? It's dark inside.
And then he's like, are you one of those guys that you got the goggles, the goggles
on.
You
got the tinted glasses, and he's like, ping, ping.
The robber breaks in. You're gonna throw all that shit on real fast.
It's such a good bit. It's
really
funny. It's really good. So he goes, so I can't have a gun, so I'm gonna fly a fucking helicopter. And now he actually flies helicopters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the joke that he? Are we allowed to do that on podcasts? We could do whatever you want, right?
Yeah. This is the radiator going. It's just, it bubbles and stuff.
It's a drum beat.
It's a little out of time, but it's there. Yeah.
But where he talks about the dude killing himself, jumping out of the airplane.
Yeah, he's jumping out of the helicopter.
So
he's
funny.
like, he's got his foot up on the dash. He's just crushing a beer.
I fucking tell everybody that.
And then he goes, wham! And he goes, and he lived. He fucking lived.
It is so funny.
It's so terrible.
He is hilarious. And he rips on that crowd. But yeah, it's so weird, the laws in like New York State, you can only have 10 rounds. And everywhere else, you can have like 22 rounds, magazines and stuff like that.
Some people will be, why do you need more than 10 bullets? Like, and I like I said, I haven't in years, and it was a one shot at a time. A bolt action rifle, like a 40-pound bolt action rifle, and I was like 15. It was all laying down, firing at a target. At Boy Scout camp. Have you ever fired a weapon before? Do you know what it is to have to be accurate? Do you know what it takes? And then in a situation where everything's elevated and your adrenaline's to the roof, do you think, you know what I mean? If you're trying to protect yourself, like you said, that 4 bullets might make the difference.
It really does. That's what I mean, because that dude's adrenaline's going too at the same time. That person, sorry, I don't mean to be like just dudes.
Right. Yeah, dudes only.
Yeah. But that person's adrenaline.
Women don't shoot people.
You'd be surprised, man. Some of those women on
boyfriends and husbands.
Some of those women on NRI TV, they're like dead set on fucking sticking up for their family, and it's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm joking, guys, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, transgenders, everybody, LGBTQ, all the rest of them. I'm just a joke. I'm just kidding. Obviously, everybody shoots everybody.
Dude, you know what else is funny too is I think fucking gay people should be a part of the Second Amendment, like carrying community too. They have their rights just randomly stripped away too. They know exactly what that's like. Like, where you can't, it's illegal to marry somebody that you love. You can't do it because it's the same sex. Like, you know what I'm talking about? How that
depending upon the state. So you're saying be a proponent of something that is a right to you as an American citizen?
That's what I mean. Like, as a human motherfucking being, not as an American citizen. Like, freedom isn't like a thing or a right. It's there. It's not. It's like just the earth is there. It's free. I don't know what else. It's free as the earth spinning in the space. That's what. You can't stop it. I don't know. I'm just sorry.
I don't know. Like, I get.
But like, what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought. Shit.
Oh, I don't know. You were headed somewhere.
I don't remember. Gone in the wind.
You saying?
Oh yeah, that same sex, but like you can't just decide that. Like, oh, you can't marry. That how are you supposed to stick up for somebody you love without the right to be able to bear arms? How are you supposed to be able to stick up for that? Are you gonna fight with your fucking hands? Yeah, right. Anyway, and 2, like, you're just gonna strip it away from you? Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I don't know. Again, as big a proponent of hunting as Joe is, and he, I think, he has, I think, rifle hunted, but he almost exclusively bow hunts because it's just a different skill set. That's a very physically challenging thing, and I think that's one of the things he loves about it, him and Cam Hanes. But Rogan had said something about if you can't defend yourself physically with your hands, then that person shouldn't be allowed to have a gun. I think it's something. I might be talking out of school. I might be completely misquoting him, but it was something to the effect of like, and in saying that, it sounds counterintuitive because it's like, well, I can't. For a somewhat of a big guy, I'm not that strong. I've never been in a fight. I have zero training other than watching 25-minute supercuts of Anderson Silva beating the fuck out of everybody in the octagon, which is, I watched it the other night. I woke up at 2, couldn't go back to sleep. I watched a 25-minute supercut of him just kneeing dudes in the face and he's not a big guy, just throwing hammers, just knocking people the fuck out.
Yo.
Unless you're that, and I'm not that at all, part of me kind of goes, maybe I should go through the process of doing what it takes to get a permit for safety. I don't know. Maybe you should. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I don't have any money right now, so I'm not. I'd sooner entertain getting a dog, and I can't afford that either. But it's like, get him, boy, and it's like a Shih Tzu.
It takes some time though. It's kind of nuts. You got to pay for the tests. You got to sign up for and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
And what if you fail the test?
It's not really like kind of like it's more so a class as opposed to a test.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they say test. But like you sit there and like everybody answers the question, and then like you have to make sure, like, it's kind of nuts. You have to go through it for yourself. It's super long and really detailed.
There's either that, right, or I just start working out and take some martial arts and
that's what I mean. But even then, Bruce Lee says, what stops all that? 45.
Yeah,
but still,
and that's true. But I think you referenced. It wasn't on the podcast. It wasn't, but we referenced Friday. Yeah, when we were eating breakfast this morning, we referenced Friday, at the end when he's going to fight Debo, and rather than pull the gun, he listens to his dad and he fights him and he knocks him the fuck out.
Yeah, but he uses a brick.
Well, dude, guy is also twice his fucking size. Sometimes you need an equalizer. That's why they bring the steel chair to the ring. Like,
yeah, that's true. But I'm also
Triple H is bigger than most dudes, and he still brought a fucking sledgehammer. You know what I mean? No, he fought dirty, but that's the brick. That's how he won.
I saw that, and I remember there was a pay-per-view event, right, where he took the machine gun. Right? Have you seen this? Did you see this?
What?
This is a pay-per-view event. There was like,
he took a machine gun.
Yeah.
Who? Triple H.
Triple H. It was like it was like the part of the stage setup, and there was like a fucking 50 cal machine gun, and he was fighting Vince McMahon, and everybody wanted Vince McMahon to win. And
they wanted him to win?
This is when Vince McMahon made the transition into actually wrestling as well. Like, and
he wrestled how long ago?
This was a long time ago.
Triple H had his hair?
Triple H had his hair.
Okay, so
and it was just like remember when he got Stephanie McMahon, like he drugged her and went to Vegas, and he was like fighting for his daughter's like thing back or whatever, and Triple H was just beating the shit out of him. It was so funny. But I remember being such a kid and everything looked so real. But he took the machine gun and he
swung it around
and he smashed Mr. McMahon's head, and he was just down.
I'll give it to Vince that he's willing to. I mean, and he's gotta be almost 70.
Oh, he smashed it.
He's willing. He's willing to take a fucking beating like to sell the show. But can I just say, for an industry, specifically the WWE, sorry guys.
Sorry, we are WWF fans, by the way. World Wrestling Federation. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
For a company that prides themselves, quote unquote, prides themselves on making sure that their athletes are clean, there's no way Vince's body looks like that without fucking steroids. You can't tell me there's no fucking way that guy is cut more than Stone Cold was at his, Stone Cold. I saw Stone Cold fight sometimes where his gut was so big, would he be spinning around on top of people screaming in their face? I'm like, dude, you're just on your belly right now. But he had days where he looked great too. And you can't tell me when Triple H was at his biggest, when his chest was fucking huge and he was just a roided out monster, that he wasn't on something. You're full of shit. You're fucking lying to me.
Who knows?
There's no chance. There's no chance they weren't taking something. And it's not just creatine shakes. There's no way Vince looks like that. He was on the cover of Muscle Magazine maybe 10 years ago at 60, I think he's 60 years old. He was bigger than Macho Man was, and Macho Man's most cut, and he was roided to the fucking gills. There's no way you're going to tell me that guy wasn't on roids.
Yo, I'm so happy we're talking about this. I just watched Ready to Rumble last night.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. I've been, like, trying to find episodes, more or less, of WWF and WCW. I don't know where to find any, like, just full episodes or seasons. Like,
I don't know about full episodes, but I do know that, like, I'll go down the rabbit hole on Facebook, and I'll find and I know you're not really on Facebook much.
Not much.
But I'll go on there just to look, and I'll click on, here's, Triple H, whatever, and you just keep scrolling, and the next video is another match from 99 where it's
my God.
Royal Rumble. I'll go down an hour-long I sleep like shit, and I wake up at around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, almost every day. And so, smoke pot. And then I'll grab my phone, I'm like, oh, fine, let's find something, I'll get through Instagram in about 20 seconds, because I only follow about 150 people, and then I'll go back, I'll go into Facebook, and I'll just scroll, and I will literally watch just super cuts of like, Iron Man matches and cage matches, and just I will go for an hour plus. I'll just go down this rabbit hole, and a lot of WCW stuff, like Goldberg when he did the jackknife powerbomb on Big Show before he was Big Show.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot all about this. That's what I mean.
At 7 foot whatever, 500 plus pounds. Like back in WCW.
Dude, it's so great. I can't, I would just love to just sit there and have it on his background.
They're usually like a full match. A lot of times it's a full match. Or the one I saw that I love, because nobody sold it better. It's a supercut of The Rock selling the Stone Cold Stunner over and over again, because he always sold it so well. He would like flop around like a fish and shit.
Dude,
it's so good.
I saw one. I think it was the best one. I think it was Scott Hall that sold it the best one, dude. He got stunned, and he had enough momentum to like do like this backflip on his head. Dude, it was so nuts. Like, it was just crazy. Yeah. And like, it's called WrestleBotch. Have you seen this on Instagram?
No.
It's hilarious.
Is it like
dude.
a account?
So it's an account on Instagram. I don't know what the fuck happened to my phone.
You didn't leave the seat.
No, I did not leave the seat.
I love that shit. I love watching. I have such.
Dude.
I get teary eyed because it was such a great time.
It was
wrestling.
amazing. I remember getting pissed, like crying that Stone Cold lost and stuff like that. Like people I wanted to win so bad. I was like, how did the ref not see him? He cheated.
It's like, and I look back and go, that was really fucking cheesy. But in the time when I watch it, it was. I mean, I still love it, but from a different perspective. But it was such a great. I don't know. Fuck, you know, I know. Joe Rogan, you and I should meet, and you can just dismiss me completely, and I'll never talk about you again. But I'll still listen to your podcast. It's fucking great. But you know, he kind of got he got some heat on him. He was doing a show with one of his other friends and then Jamie, who were talking about wrestling, and he's like, "Wrestling's fucking bullshit." And he pulls up, it's a match between the Undertaker and somebody else, and he shows him this thing in the sharpshooter. He was showing him the sharpshooter. The figure four, the sharpshooter. Mm-hmm. And he goes, the guy who's in the thing, the guy who's like laying there and he's like, who was the Undertaker? Mm-hmm. He goes, he's in the good position. All he's got to do is reach around and grab his foot and roll over, and then that other guy's fucked. He goes, it's a heel hook. It's a heel hook. And which is, a traditional grappling jiu-jitsu move. Yeah. It's just a really simple thing. It's a really simple.
But it's wrestling.
And that's the thing. And he's like, oh, whatever. And he wasn't being as dismissive a dick as it might have come off to some people. But then Mark Henry, right?
Yeah.
Mark Henry, he's on some XM show and he's just like, oh, Joe Rogan doesn't blah, blah, blah. He whatever for the UFC, but, he's like, come, in a fight with a real man. I'm just like, Mark, you are 3 times the size of this guy.
I don't know.
Joe Rogan goes about $197 right now.
Well, Joe Rogan fights.
Right, but Mark Henry's 500 pounds. And it's the thing. That's the thing.
You know what stops that? A 45. Sorry.
And that's the thing that Joe has said, too. He's just like, he goes, the other night I was at this is a while ago now. He's like, I was at the Comedy Store in the back room, and this guy walked by me, and he was about 6'5", and I thought, fuck, I'm dead. The guy doesn't even have to be strong. Like, he's like, I guess he was a big dude. He's like, at 6'5". Joe's 5'8", 5'9", I think. Excuse me. He's not super tall. Well, and he's got all the training in the world. I mean, and if you can, if you could get the guy's back and put him in, put him in a sleeper, maybe. But a guy that big, for a guy who is trained in martial arts, basically his entire life, all of his adult life and half of his teenage life, right? So he's 50 years old. He started, I think, when he was 14 or 15 in Taekwondo.
Rogan?
Yeah. He was a nationally ranked champion in Taekwondo.
How old is Joe Rogan?
He's 50.
No.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, he's 50. And he, by 18, he was teaching Taekwondo classes to adults at Boston College, like at 18 years old. Like that's how good he was at that age, just in Taekwondo. So
that's sick.
Dude's been doing this shit forever.
I didn't know any of
that.
For
a person like that who works, he's got some of the there are guys in MMA who watch his supercuts of his kicking videos and go,
Yo, he does have crazy kicks.
Fucking crazy kicks. Like I'd be fucked.
He
hasn't actually
thighs,
fought.
dude.
He's rolled. He'll roll with dudes like they'll practice or whatever. But he hasn't fought in years. He says, for that guy to go, yeah, I had a flash of panic in me when this guy who had nothing to do with me at all. Guy didn't even look at me. Didn't know me. I don't know him. He's 6'5". I went, oh, like he had that little twinge in your taint that happens.
Man.
It's so if he has that, imagine what I'm going through every day.
You guys, what about me?
All
I'm
right.
like, I mean, yeah, I guess I would throw a couple bite in or two, but I would still get my ass kicked. Even if I did try my motherfucking hardest, even if I did know how to fight and I was still winning, that dude would probably somehow still have enough more muscle than me because he's 10 times the size of me.
And that's my point I'm making about Joe fighting Mark Henry. If he actually, Mark wouldn't even have to have any technique. With those kicks though, he could probably break that.
That's what I
leg.
mean, though. Like if I just one swift kick to a.
But anyway, he completely dismissed Joe, and he's like, I don't know, blah blah blah. I'm just like, Mark, dude, you're world's strongest man. That's cool, and I like professional wrestling.
It's a soap opera,
but it's like, calm the fuck down.
Action
like,
soap
opera. You know what I
opera.
mean? And so Joe addressed it. He's like, look, I wasn't. I don't even know that he addressed that. It was Mark Henry that said what was said, but because I know other people blew him up on social media about, what do you mean? Oh. He's like, it's so fucking fake. And it's like, well, yeah, it's, and that's the thing I like about it.
However,
so who cares about the storyline? I mean, there is a storyline. Fucking still entertaining.
The punches were hit or were fake. Do you know what I mean? But like the slams, the fucking, the jumping off of a table or the turnbuckle and moonsaulting or what is it? The shooting star press or whatever onto the table into the crowd. That shit is insane.
The frog splash. Those are
The
great.
Mankind
The mandible claw.
and Undertaker
Sacco.
matches where he would get choke slammed
Oh, yeah.
off of the cage onto the fucking table. Like, that shit was insane.
Because of those things and the first ladder match. Do you remember the first ladder match?
Vaguely, dude.
It
We're
was
going
it was,
back
it was,
years
it was
now.
the Hardys and Edge and Christian, right?
Oh my God, I do remember that.
I watched that live, Tom. That was the most intense, insane fucking thing. Those dudes gave 150%. How they didn't physically break in half on those, like they were beating the fuck out of each
Yes,
other.
dude, that was when.
And then they tried to do the TLC match. It was it was those guys again, and then the Dudley boys with the tables, ladders, and chairs because the Dudleys always had the tables, and it wasn't nearly. I mean, it was still like that. That's like, that sucks. That first ladder match, dude,
Yeah.
that was, and those are why they don't do that shit anymore. They're not allowed to draw blood in WWE anymore.
They did such. They
The
killed
attitude
it.
in the late 90s, early 2000s, early to mid 2000s was the greatest era in wrestling.
Yes,
hands down.
It was like, it was almost real when they came out with that wrestling's fake thing.
Yeah.
That was crushing. They should have just fucking left it alone.
No, it doesn't
Like,
matter. I knew it was fake. You could tell because I'd have friends go, "Oh, guess what? I know this. Undertaker's gonna win," which was usually a given. Let me pick somebody else. They knew, oh, they're gonna go over. Or the other thing is, whoever comes out second is gonna be the one who wins the match. And a lot of times they were right about that.
That's how, like, we always
Right. And it's like, okay, so that it's but it's still it's still what they do in the ring. It's still the moves that they go through and what they put each other through.
They
And you go,
rehearse.
oh my God. Oh fuck, for sure.
They rehearse. There was one time a wrestling thing came here, and my cousin from my grandmother's sister, so he would be my third or second cousin, right? My grandmother's
I'm
sister
always
had
wrong
a
on
son, and he had a son who was just a few years younger than me.
Third cousin?
Yeah, third something. My cousin, doesn't matter, whatever, right?
Right.
And he had an uncle that was at the time was head of security at Marine Midland Arena. And
Going way back.
Yeah, and
The Ma.
they were breaking down, and we got to hop over the fucking the cage,
barricade?
and I jumped in the ring. As soon as I got in the ring, they kicked us out, and I was like, but it was pretty padded. Like, it was a sweet pad from what I remember. The ropes were really tight.
Yeah, the ropes have to be really tight.
And like, it was just like really sick. And then they came back, and my cousin ended up has a garbage can that Stone Cold hit Kane with.
That's awesome.
It is so awesome, and like, it is the coolest thing in the world. And like,
There was rumors that WCW used to mic the underside of the ring so that they could actually amplify the sound of somebody hitting it, so that it made it sound more impressive on TV.
well, who cares? They did such a good job.
Yeah.
If they did or not. It was like,
Yeah.
I missed that sound. I need to go on YouTube or something like that tonight to find all that
Gonna
shit.
go down that rabbit hole.
I need to. Just like the whole thing from start to finish. Like, that'd be just so fun to just watch that and like.
Man, it's so like when Stone Cold takes the Coors Light truck and he runs into the arena with it and he pulls out the hose and he's blasting the McMahons off the stage.
Dude, that is
like,
so funny.
just the shit like that. Like the people's elbow was a joke move and everyone's like, oh, you need to keep doing that. So that's why he kept doing it. That's why that was his fucking finish.
The people's
It was
elbow?
Yeah.
It is
The Rock,
a whole-
it was a joke because obviously it's like Hogan's big leg. And that guy, I always underestimate. Again, going down the rabbit hole the other day, I saw he was in a tag match with somebody and they were tagging against two other people who, this is when he had come back to WWE after WCW got absorbed and he left and came back. Like, one of the times he came back to guest whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think he was back to Hollywood Hogan. He wasn't NWO Hogan. And that dude is fucking huge still.
Hollywood Hogan, I know.
Like, he's like 6'7", I think, right? He's still a fucking monster of a person. And whoever he's fighting, the guy's, is probably a better technical wrestler, whoever it was that he was against, because the dude's punching him in the head and he's doing the Hulk up, blows, and he's got his shaky blonde hair. I love what Dee said on the
Straw.
And It's Always Sunny with the Gang Wrestles for the Troops episode. It's
Yeah.
like, hair like that of a Chinese man, skin of a hot dog. Like, it's like, it's like,
Dude, she is so funny.
yeah, but then you look at him, he's just still a monster. His fucking hands are, it's just a huge dude.
I'm trying to find this. I think it was either Shawn Michaels or Scott Hall that sells the Stone Cold Stunner. I'm sorry.
It might be Shawn Michaels. He seems like he has more agility. He's a bit more flexible than Scott Hall might have been. Do you ever look at old promo videos of him when he was Razor Ramon? And he really played up the Hispanic
I forgot that
accent.
it was Razor Ramon.
Yeah, when he was Razor Ramon.
Hey, yo.
No, but that was Scott Hall.
Yeah.
When he was Razor Ramon, he really overdid like this Hispanic accent, and they did a promo where he's like going to places like eating tacos and stuff. I feel like I saw it. He's
Oh
like,
my god, his move was so sick though. Razor's Edge or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was a massive dude too.
That was such a sick move.
I mean, you put him next to Big Sexy, right? You put him next to Kevin Nash. He looks smaller, but then you put Kevin Nash next to anybody, and Kevin's a fucking monster.
Gigantor.
So Scott was a big fucking guy too.
Holy cow! I need to find this. This was the best. I think the best sold stunner ever. Either I sent you the text message of this thing, by the way.
Oh, which thing?
Of this Wrestle Botch.
Oh, okay. I'll have to Wrestle Botch
it if you want to go down a rabbit hole. Do you ever look at the hashtags? You can probably find some awesome ass wrestling hashtags.
I just started because I wondered. I get weird likes on some of my Instagram posts.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and what I realize is people will look up ats. So if I at like Joe Rogan, like when I watched his most recent special, when I watched Strange Times.
Wait, what?
When I watched Joe Rogan's comedy special.
No, people look at. What do you mean? People look at ads.
So I said just watched at Joe Rogan on Instagram at Joe Rogan's comedy special. Blah 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 was great. Didn't hashtag anything. I just put at Joe Rogan. Random like photographer and somebody from California found my post and liked it. The only way for that to happen is either they know me and they don't, or they're looking at posts that are to somebody. There has to be a way to do that because I know I didn't hashtag it.
Oh, that's so weird.
Because what I did is I took a screenshot of the promo graphic that they made for the show that they put up on Netflix. It's sort of like water paint colored kind of thing, and I just used that as the picture on the post, and so it wasn't like that was shared from anything. I saved it off of Google Images and just put it up from my phone.
Yeah,
and I just added Joe Rogan. And I don't.
That is so weird. I noticed like randos and stuff like that, which is I guess the whole point of the hashtags is like when I post those drum videos and stuff like that.
Right. And so I posted. I actually just got a weird. Not weird, but hang on. From.
Yeah, that's how
Salty Mermaid Hotel.
Salty Mermaid Hotel.
Salty Mermaid Hotel.
Sounds like a chocolate bar.
Liked and commented with a smiley face with the tongue out at the picture of you and me from the episode 2 weeks ago.
What is it? Salty what? Salty Mermaid Bar? Hotel?
Salty Mermaid Hotel.
Bar.
Salty Mermaid Hotel is a beach resort, luxury boutique, oceanfront hotel in Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires has been wiped off the earth. Name that movie, Jeff Zum.
I don't know. Because I don't know what that is.
Starship Troopers.
But that's what's funny about it. Like, and I'm looking at the post, and I didn't even at you at it. All I did was I hashtag Sean Paul causes seizures, which I made up. That didn't exist before. Like that specific hashtag didn't exist because when you type it in, it'll let you know, and it didn't exist. So I don't know, and it's not like I added you, but there's like 15 likes on it, so maybe they follow somebody.
You know what'd be hilarious if one of those situations happened, or somebody was typing in like starting off with like Sean, like hashtags, looking up at Sean, and then all of a sudden they just saw Sean Paul causes seizures.
Maybe that's
and they're
what
like
it was.
One post
because
they're like, what the fuck?
Because then the comment is that stupid the face with the tongue at the bottom. The little.
Oh yeah,
that guy.
And also I feel like people do that too, just to see if they'll get you to follow them and.
Yeah, but then how would they have? And I guess because I don't understand social media.
Salty really. Mermaid.
How would they have?
Chocolate bar.
How would they have found me? I wonder if there's because I know you can you can promote. I know like with Twitter and Instagram you can do promoted ones. Like I'll get Instagram posts from like Coca-Cola or whatever because it's a promoted one because we'll pay and you just throw it out to whoever. So maybe that's how they found it. I don't know, and I don't care. I'm cool, whatever. But I just thought it was interesting.
I can't look at my phone with my glasses on.
Tom is so old; he's got to pull his glasses up over his eyebrows.
Doesn't that mean that's a good thing that I can see close and stuff? Because this is for seeing far away.
Right,
I can't.
Because you're nearsighted, right?
Is that what that means?
Yeah, because you can see near.
Oh, this is what I'm talking about. He doesn't. This is the best. Scott Hall.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Right. Awesome.
Oh yeah, he got about.
But I've seen
about
one
4 feet in the air there.
I've seen the one where somebody does he does like a thing, like a bowling pin thing on the back, on the off of his head. It's so funny. Like,
you gotta watch the one with the Rock, where he shows the Rock selling the stunner over and over again.
The hashtag is called Supercell Sunday, so there's
probably a bunch of them.
It's dedicated to people selling the stunner. Like, it is so funny. Here, it's brilliant. And Stone Cold follows this too, which is kind of. Bah.
You know what I actually listened to, like there was actually a 2-parter, Stone Cold's podcast, when Andy Williams was on it.
He has a podcast?
Yeah, he has a podcast that he does out of the Broken Skull Ranch in California where he lives. And he had Andy on it with 2 other people that he wrestles with.
Stone Cold?
Yeah. And it was Andy talking to Stone Cold about wrestling.
Stone Cold has a
neat.
podcast?
Yeah,
I did not fucking know this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is that really him playing guitar? Have you heard him play guitar?
No.
Oh.
Let me hang on.
Whoa. I don't know if this is really him or not, but it's Stone Cold, so I'm going to say yes. Stone Cold and Chuck Norris were to fight. Stone Cold wins.
It's called the Steve Austin Show.
Dude, holy shit.
Yeah. And the reason I downloaded it is because I don't know where I heard it. Oh, you know, maybe it was posted on Instagram or something from ETID, but that he was going to be on it, and so I tracked down the episode. I think it's a 2-parter. It was him and this guy who I think is also from Buffalo, who's a professional wrestler who's actually like smaller circuit thing, but actually more of a wrestler than like Andy's like more of a musician.
Yeah.
But they were talking about like Stone Cold and Andy Williams were talking about their respective shoulder surgeries. Because Austin's like, yeah, you know, I had to have my whatever place. And Andy's like, yeah, actually, I go in next week to have it done. And then we're going on tour 2 weeks after that. He's like, how are you going to wear a guitar? He's like, I don't know. I'm going to like,
I didn't figure
and
it
Andy,
out.
you know, and Andy's straight edge. I don't think I don't even know if he'd take pain meds if he didn't have to. So, but they're like talking about the different techniques that can be used to fix shoulders. I'm like, is this a real thing I'm listening to right now? It was pretty great. I really enjoyed it. So
I'm sorry. I need to find this. Shit. My hands are wrapped around a beer right now. He says something like that. I don't know. Sorry.
that's all right.
I can't find it.
Well, listen, we'll find it. We'll talk about it next week.
Next week?
Because I think what we're going to do is, I think we're going to try is, as long as we're both available, I think Tom is going to be my co-host.
Represent. Fuck
There we
yeah.
go. Fist bump.
Pound. We should somehow broadcast one of these live one day, so. Kind of nerve-wracking for both
The
of
only
us.
thing I can think of right now that's a possibility is you can do the YouTube live.
Maybe Instagram live too.
Possibly Instagram live too. I'm just thinking I would probably need a second computer, because then I could, like, if this one was recording, if I had one there and I slide it to the side, the actual webcam could just be used to stream us. Because like I talked about last time, this piece of shit, I don't fucking know what I'm doing with this $889 piece of garbage.
Yo, really quick, really quick. iPhone, whatever iPhone this isn't the X. This is the one.
This 8?
This is the 8.
Okay. They came out at the same time last time around, right?
Last
There was the 8
year.
and then the X.
Yes.
So that's the 8.
Yes.
Okay.
The Zach Morris phone. The 8S is the big one. It's the Zach Morris iPhone. It's huge.
Zach Morris. Oh, wait, because it's like the brick he used to have?
Yeah.
Zach Morris is trash.
But dude, let me see if I can find a video. This is a kid that I was teaching last night. This is shot.
You're just saying with your phone?
Yeah.
What it looks like?
This is in 1080 HP. I changed the. Why is it not working now all of a sudden?
Because I know that I saw the X, the XS is out or coming out. But did you see about the XR?
No.
The XR is a phone it's available for pre-order. It's apparently it has about the same stuff in it as like the XS, but it's under $1,000.
Oh, it's only under $1,000.
Well, all the other ones are $1,000.
Oh, this one's just under it's just
It's
under
under
$1,000.
Look,
Okay, sure
look,
thing.
My
Apple.
SE doesn't want
Sure
to
thing.
charge anymore, and I'm afraid to upgrade to the next OS because updating from 9 to 11 made the thing basically not work.
Yeah.
So-
No thanks, Apple.
But I'm gonna
Fucking A.
I'm gonna check out the XR and see, because I'd like to be able to
Why won't this work?
do some video shit. So yeah, no, I'd like to do a live one, but yeah, so it's gonna be for as long as we can make it work. It's gonna be me and Tom.
I am in. Here's a video shot in 4K. If it works, why isn't it working all of a sudden? Why won't the videos just play?
I don't know. See, I can shoot 4K with the SE,
Oh, can you?
but the camera is not as good as the 8.
That's what I mean. We could totally probably use
And
this.
then the X camera is even better than that, and the XR, which is supposed to have the same camera as the XS, is even better than that. So why would I not want a phone with a terabyte of storage and a 14 megapixel camera?
That is kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Apple, at the same time. Because we're like, yeah, you know what? We're going to do it anyways.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work. But Tom, where can they find you?
On Instagram, you always catch me off guard.
Yeah. Tom is alive?
Tom Falcone. Tom Falcone at Instagram.com. I don't know.
Tom Falcone. Thomas Falcone. E.
I think it's just Tom Falcone. At Tom Falcone.
Tom is drumming. Tom is alive. Just try any one of those combinations on Twitter and Instagram.
One of the 3 or 4.
And be sure to go to Apartment 83 Podcast to download the podcast or to grab the RSS feed subscription. And still available on iTunes, working on getting myself available on all the other platforms. For those of you who listen who do not have Apple products, I appreciate you guys. I'm working on that to make it easier for you. And I'll leave with this. And just want to say this briefly. I'm looking at the analysis tools, the analytics that the website has available, and my subscribership went from around 111 down to 4. So I'm kind of curious as to what that's about. Anybody who hears this, who might have some insight, on the post I'll put up to say that this episode's coming out, which will be later today, just let me know.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm curious if what I said some time ago about my feelings on Louis doing that surprise set in New York kind of soured a whole bunch of people on me. If it did, guys, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't mean to offend anybody. This is all in good fun, but that was my honest opinion on it. I did go back and listen to the episode before I decided to not take it down because of what happened to Michael Ian Black the next day on Twitter. If anyone, knows what that's about, then you'll understand what I'm saying. People are full of their own opinions these days, like very, very much so, and they're vehement about it. I get that. I respect that. But this is, again, mostly just a platform to have fun and joke around and say dirty things on the radio, kind of. So respect to every one of you. Love to everybody. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
Goodbye.